What's up, guys? We made it through the first day of the portal. There was a lot of action, so I got Pete Nakos here. He's our on-3 portal expert, and I want to do these videos almost daily where we do a quick rundown position by position. Today, we're starting with quarterback, of course. A lot of developments. Let's start with USC quarterback transfer Miller Moss. Now, you had a report. You talked to some sources. Who's involved here? And you also made a note that wherever Moss lands, there's a potential for a USC package to follow. What's that mean?
Yeah, so Miller Moss expected at Missouri and Louisville this week. He'll be at Louisville starting Wednesday night. Visit will start Thursday. Reported with Steve Wolfong on that. Sources have continued to tell me that there is a possibility that wherever Miller Moss lands, a USC package could follow him, and that could include a couple wide receivers. So that's like all I'm willing to share at this point. We'll see more once he makes a decision and see how that comes together. But that's been talked about behind the scenes.
Really interesting note there. All right, let's keep it moving. Oklahoma quarterback Jackson Arnold. New prediction, Mississippi State for him. Now, I'll let you get into that. But I also wonder, is this the first QB domino that could fall, or were you just ready for a prediction here?
A little bit of both. I think this could be one of the first to fall. We actually had Walker Howard, the Ole Miss quarterback transfer, already committed to Louisiana earlier this morning. The one thing about Jackson Arnold here is Jeff Lebby kind of brought him to Norman. It makes a lot of sense to go back with him in Starkville, get an offense he wanted to play in college, and with someone that he trusts and thinks will help his development. I've also thrown out schools like Auburn and Georgia here just because of how high the ceiling can be for Jackson Arnold. We know he struggled at Oklahoma, but there's still a lot of upside that I think a lot of schools want to be part of. When it comes to the prediction of Jackson Arnold to Mississippi State, I really like where the Bulldogs sit right now, and I think they're on track to land him.
Cool. All right. Texas A&M quarterback Connor Weigman, former Texas A&M QB, Connor Weigman, he's one of the big names on the board right now. What are his options at this point?
Yeah, someone like Connor Weigman, it kind of needs the rest of these dominoes to fall, right? So we talked about Miller Moss in Missouri and Louisville. Well, if he goes to Louisville, which I like right now because Louisville has made very clear that they're going all in, I think he quickly becomes QB1 on the board for Missouri. And then similar to that, right, Syracuse is kind of bringing in a carousel of quarterbacks this week.
They're definitely entertaining.
So Rick Hollins is there today. That's been reported by another outlet and was able to confirm that. And then Kaidon Salter is expected there this week. I think Connor Weigman in Syracuse make too much sense for him not to check it out, especially with the former Texas A&M defense coordinator Elijah Robinson now on staff. Some familiarity there. I think this is going to be one, Josh, where I don't expect a decision imminently.
Gotcha. Okay. QB Kaidon Salter, leaving Liberty, already has a visit set to Syracuse on Friday that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Colorado, Auburn, UCLA also involved. We know they're all looking for transfer quarterbacks. What do you think of Kaidon Salter's recruitment? Is this still early for him? Because he's probably scheduled more visits than any other quarterback right now.
Yeah, I think the early indication signs are Kaidon Salter would love to make a decision on the quicker end and just kind of, get on campus, get settled in, get things going.
So he could, the way the visits are set up, sometimes we see it. It's like, some of these guys, it's not like recruiting necessarily. Some of these guys take a first visit, they fall in love, they're done.
Yeah, no, and by no means am I saying that he's going to get to Syracuse and commit, but I think he would prefer to make this a little quicker than slower.
That's right.
So let's run this down real quick. So Syracuse clearly needs a quarterback. Got some confirmation this morning for sure that Kyle McCord is not returning at Syracuse. He'll go to the draft. And beyond that, right, so Syracuse, Ricky Collins, Kaidon Salter, there's a couple other ones. So that's Syracuse. You look at Colorado, extremely intriguing. They brought in Juju Lewis, the highly touted quarterback in the 2025 class. When we saw Juju commit to Colorado, we all somewhat assumed that he was going to start in year one. Well, they're going to need someone else to help him out. Kaidon Salter could make a lot of sense. Florida State was initially mentioned as a school to watch here. The Seminoles are not as involved as we all initially thought. And then, UCLA has kind of had a quarterback exodus, right? Justin Martin's leaving. They're going to need someone. I view that more as a backup option at this point.
All right, let's move on to Boston College quarterback Thomas Castellanos. Now, you mentioned FSU out of it for Kaidon Salter. Are they all in on Castellanos? It seems like with the ties to Gus Malzahn from Castellanos' time at UCF, like they could have a foot in the door there.
All my early indications here are that Gus Malzahn and Florida State are doing everything they can to get Thomas Castellanos. That starts off with that visit on Wednesday. He confirmed that to us yesterday. And the one thing here with Thomas Castellanos is he committed to UCF to play for Gus Malzahn. It's a reoccurring theme in the transfer portal where you have guys who want to find a place closer at home or play for someone they almost played for coming out of high school. And he was in that UCF system. He was behind John Reese Plumlee, and then transferred to Boston College and all that.
FSU was heavily involved with Thomas Castellanos. I was covering this recruitment, and they were actually recruiting him more as a running back.
Oh, really? Okay.
Out of high school. And a lot of teams were. He's a great athlete, but, Boston College recruited, or UCF recruited him as a quarterback. He signed there, ends up at Boston College, now maybe reuniting with Gus Malzahn. That visit's happening tomorrow as we tape this on Tuesday. You think that could, is that one where if it lines up, he could commit on that trip?
I think it could pop soon. I think the one interesting thing here about Thomas Castellanos is he is a phenomenal athlete.
Yeah.
Florida State also has 2 quarterbacks in that room already. So the idea of bringing someone in who has, he's a veteran, he's athletic, he can play right away, that's really attractive. They're not trying to bring in a project. They're trying to bring in someone who knows what Gus Malzahn's offense is going to look like and then help those 2 guys, Brock Glenn and Luke Kromenhoek, develop a little bit.
All right. Well, there it is at the quarterback position. There could be more names coming in, but this is just the first day. So you guys let us know, what position would you like us to recap next? Also, where do you think some of these quarterbacks are going to land? Let us know in the comment section below.